with you because there's no, you're no stranger to controversy in the dancehall business. But what was your reaction to the case and to the verdict?
Well, being as a man with experience and know about cases and trials and all these things, the nature of the case, it was a no-lose for the government. Because this is the first time in the history of Jamaica, Jamaican government have gone through all the technologies. Whether they have fumbles, they have misled or whatever, they have used them. And the American government used these methods and bring all their accused to conviction. And the first time Jamaica government used that, if they didn't find Vybz Kartel guilty, they wouldn't have a police force tomorrow morning. Even the government would have get a damp for this case, because this is a history case. It's the longest case ever tried in the history of Jamaica. It started from November and never ended until March, and spent 60 days in the court on trial. 2 weeks for the judge to finish sum up the case, to turn it over to the jury. No government gonna go this hard on you and you're gonna get away. You understand? Because they're gonna do everything. And this time the government spent excessive amount of money to bring this case to justice.
Patrick?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we have to say, you know, right or wrong, or really go down. You know, we not gonna really be the one to say who guilty or innocent or whatever. Them decide that already, and whatever the case may be. But you know, for we and the mission we are pushing Ninja for years is, you know, is the selective pursuit of justice in a Jamaica as a whole, where we observe, you know, like selective pursuit of justice. Like for example, you know, me lose my son in 2007 under violent and drastic circumstances, and we never really see no stops pull out. They never left out of the station for really go make sure it's a certain thing happen when it comes down. You know what I mean? So it's like this whole classism where a lot of people put on and look away from and act like it not exists. That is like one of the biggest problems that exists in our country today. You know?
You see this as another case of that type of justice?
No, I'm just saying, me see, let me tell you what me say happen. This whole thing is being celebrated like, oh, it's the greatest victory. I do not think this is the first case that they have sentenced somebody to prison. You understand what I say to you? So this cannot be a victory for the justice system per se as a whole. If you say, okay, Vybz Kartel, I'm sorry, I lose my voice, but Vybz Kartel gone to jail, this is a victory. No, it isn't a victory. When there exists in our society where, you know, like people from Rima can kill people from Jungle, Tivoli Garden and whatever for centuries, and police just gotta go draw one shark line and lock the big book when it's all said and done. And we don't see no real balance, because when we ask for, or when we like for see, or when it's gonna be a justice for the justice system, is when there's a balance, when everybody can be held accountable for crimes. People when them consider decent, law-abiding citizens of the country.
But wouldn't he normally fall under the character you speak of, who would normally get away with that crime because of money, position, celebrity, and so on? So
but you know, in this case, he would be selected as, okay, you know what happened? We're going to make an example to show that the justice system works. It's not necessarily that the system really works. It's that they want to make a point. And he would have been the perfect point, and he put himself in another position there. Unfortunately, to make certain things, we can, you know, carry out away there.
Right. What say you, Colin?
Normally, right or wrong, whenever there is something to do with the carrying out of law or court, once a celebrity is involved, there tends to be a lot of spotlights pointed in that direction. I felt up to the point of hearing the verdict that this was 50-50. I never thought that the case against Kartel, because of we weren't in the courthouse, so we don't know all the fine details. But I never thought it was as clear-cut, because I thought the prosecution bumbled a lot along the way. What came out yesterday, though, hearing the verdict and how quickly it was arrived at, is that the jury had made up their mind a long time ago, and it was a closed case, and the fact that they came out before the 2 hours was even up, they had made up their minds, and that was that.
All right, I want to ask you this. I'll go back down the panel. When the entertainment industry has a case like this, there is a sense that irrespective of the person's guilt, based on the conviction, there is a mood of despondency, might be a strong word, but there is an element of it's a pity. And it's not a pity that you got convicted. It's not a pity. It's a pity that someone with the wherewithal to not be in this situation got into this situation and has been convicted. And the industry has lost a major player. Do you have that sense, particularly being in the media that is broadcasting a lot of his music?
Well, we were discussing it just now, that it actually is a pity. You look at Kartel, his volume of work, and the measure of talent that he has, and you think of having not seemingly slipped to the dark side, how much good he could have done for dance hall, for the country, and for the culture. So amongst smart minds, it is a pity. It's a talent that, instead of focusing on the good, went a little below the surface and ended up in this very unfortunate situation. So it is, in fact, a pity. And you kind of sense that amongst industry players. Now, as to whether or not people are celebrating his demise or crying, you can't tell. You look, for example...
Oh, no, I've seen a lot of people celebrating his demise.
You look, for example, at... What was telling in this case for me was when for example, Jah Cure had his issues, there was a lot of sentiment put forward by the industry in his direction. In Kartel's case, you look at, for example, who turned up at the court. Not many players in the industry. And you wonder why. Part of that reason being, I think, the media had a role to do in it. Yeah. I think the media made the rest of the dance hall industry feel inferior. There's so many talented artists, so many talented artists in the business that if you keep saying to one man, well done, son, the rest of you are a set of loggerheads, then when that person is in a predicament...
He's on a pedestal, you want to see him fall off.
Well, not like you even want to, but you are going to be very... indifferent
Colin,
towards his downfall.
Honestly, may I tell you this? Me feel honestly, say, it's not necessarily that, okay, because you're a spectator, or you look to see him fall off, or you want him to fall off. It's a case, in a way, of excessive pride is the undoing of men, if you really check history. That has been the downfall of most people. I think Kartel have gone a lot, like, him go far enough time, and him downplay the significance of other artists, because he believes the hype of the media game. He believes like so much like, okay, you know what happened? The God complex, basically.
And we, the media, have downplayed too many. This is something that I rant about all the while. There are just way too many contributors to the pool of entertainment for us to have been for so long acting as if without that one person, the rest of you are idiots and this business has no value. Yeah, but, I think it's disrespectful to all the other artists, and we can contest it. You can go through and check certain artists. The catalog of songs that they write and the material that they've written, other people have contributed significantly. No. Kartel, though, has been an alpha male, and that's very significant talent. I don't think he deserves all the praise.
We have to forgive him for that and move on.
What me I say, you know, the praises that a man get are not my business, you know. But it a point to the media.
Yeah, the media.
For me, being in the music business, when the media didn't make sense. When the media used to hire people who go to university to be a journalist, or to be a TV host, or a radio personality. These nowadays journalists coming like, them just hire them because them have space to put some people. I can remember, no, he's a man, them not like it when me talk, you know. And when me talk, it have to just be to no bad, because when me see me talk. I can remember back in the 80s, artists used to have something to fight for. It's years now I don't see artists a fight for that. I remember when we used to fight for them on the front page of the Gleaner, or the center spread, because if you don't reach us, you know, name artists. You understand me? Them time there, you'd have a girl on an inquiry named Joan Fagan and a man with they are cleaner named Howard McGowan. Howard McGowan is a man where him is the man who tell me, say, Ninja man, he say, this pen where I have in my hand can break you and it can make you. You understand? The first time I go up on a stage at Cinema 2, when Super Dan and Louis Fraser Bennett draw me off of the stage back when I know, say, yeah, me know, you know, build for your show, you cannot perform up here, don't follow no man carry up on stage. You understand me? That's the first time I go in the front on the front of page of paper, me and Early B when them write up, Ninja Man was kicked off stage, Early B was kicked off stage with the sidekick Ninja Man last night. And the following week, Courtney Melody carry me go to Westmoreland. And when him call me out and when me done perform, Saturday night when me perform in the early if you come to Sunday morning. When me are reaching Sunday morning and me reach town and me stand up on the front of the paper, so I mean at the middle of the paper. And hear them say, we right hand on my foot, Ninja Man, the man of the moment.
And you felt you earned that publicity.
You know where you are fight for now? To be same place next week. Because you know want to move.
All right. It's funny that you mentioned that because Donna is on the line, and I wanted to ask Donna if she felt that the media, I don't want to say contributed to his downfall, but the media certainly elevated Cartel to a position where maybe he felt he was above that. And whether, as Ninja Man has just suggested, have we contributed to this problem that we're talking about now? Donna? I thought as much. It happens every time.
Well, we're seeing her.
Yeah, well, which is fine, but I'm not hearing her, which would be better. All right. When Colin was mentioning about this issue of almost dissing, which I don't know if that's strong because I'm not in the business, but dissing other artists and just focusing on this one fellow. Why, if he is not the man who is captivating the audience, he is not the man who is driving it in so many different ways with his personality, as that gentleman beside you does, why not get all the press? Why not get all the attention?
Me personally, Twin of Twins. We can't speak as a representative of Twin of Twins. Personally, we not say for we. Him isn't the man where I get the press there. Him isn't the man who deserve that press there. We not say that, you know. We have the capacity to understand and elevate yourself above it. But we are going to say, certain man go on, you have some other people who have the capacity to deal with that.
No. But if you understand.
You understand that?
Well, you must always understand. You always have a top DJ, a top singer. And that person get his recognition different from anyone else. So at all times, remember, back in the 80s, you did have Super, when the 70s, 80s, that come up, you have Super Cat, Early B, the man there. And when them was highlighted as the man them at first, when we come into the business now, it's all about Ninja Man. You understand me? So you must always know that once an artist come and reach a certain level.
Is it that he was in that light or in that role for too long?
Well, let me just repeat something that I said, which I hope hasn't. I think, and I said this earlier, that Cartel, as far as the dancehall sphere is concerned, is an alpha male. I think there are more than one. I think there are several. I think the media did not proportion accolades to everybody, and I think.
And you are saying there were others equally.
There were other people. Right. I wouldn't say equally, but there are other people who never had the spotlight. I'm not going to call any artist's name because you're not going to sing it. But right now there are people start with them name from A. Who started A? Idonia. Go down to whichever letter of the alphabet you so choose. You can list them. They are there. Their songs are there. Their songs are being played and they are present. They are in Africa with 3,000, 30,000 people walking behind them. The media, I think, to a large extent, Cartel, he's charismatic. He brought attention to himself. He's very talented. He had a style unlike anybody else, and he deserves some of the praise. My contention is he deserved the praise he got. He deserved the spotlight. My contention is other people deserved spotlighting.
Yeah,
as well.
but the
And they never did.
Let
I'm
me just-
going to come back to it.
And it boils down to-
I have to take a break. I'll go to a break with some lyrics that almost seem prophetic. Chop him up fine, fling him in a bush, feel rotten and stink and swell up and pop. We'll be back in a minute.
I don't think so, because we need to be informed.
No, I don't think so. They are doing their work.
They need to do something about and branch off to something different, not just debate and that. You have a welfare thing in the country you can put, you know what I say? But you just stuck on that one thing right there. So the country just don't run with one person in it. A welfare within the country.
Well, I think that the media has not gone too overboard with it. I actually believe that the media, we should have been seeing more of what is actually happening in the courtroom.
They are doing the right thing because we have to have somebody to tell us what's going on here. But things happen behind closed door. So the media hasn't gone overboard. They are doing the right thing.
It's not exactly what we were talking about, because we were talking about the media coverage given to Vybz Kartel and his music and his whole persona. But this question was about, have we gone overboard in the coverage of the murder trial? I find it incredible that some people think we have, including Tanisha. I think so. There are more important and newsworthy stories that have been omitted or condensed because of the never-ending imbuing of this particular trial. I wish the major stations were as thorough when broadcasting other news stories. That's a fair comment, but they're not mutually exclusive. This is a major story. Here's Venice. Yes, there are more important things to be broadcast. I don't know why they spend so much time on just one person. Don't care who it is. Errol says, for sure, I personally think it's gotten too much media coverage, and honestly, I don't see why it's dubbed a high-profile case. If you don't, I'm leaving you there, Errol. Beverett says yes and no. Media houses do not increase time space allotted for news. The case occupies quite a few minutes, pages at times, and this leaves very little time for a crammed synopsis of what else is occurring. I wonder what other important issue is being sacrificed just so that we get verbatim reports of the case. On the other hand, one wonders what would be news had Kartel not been in it. And Shane says, most definitely for me, it's been sensationalist in many respects and overkill. All right, just some of the comments about the media coverage of the trial, and I suspect the media coverage that's going to continue a little bit after the verdict. Now, I think we can join Donna on phone. Donna?
Yes.
Hi, I'm hearing you, and hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear.
Yes, I am.
All right. An interesting point put forward on the panel here tonight, that people had asked yesterday how come there was this lack of industry support for Kartel approaching the verdict, and part of the thinking is that A, he may have alienated others around him in the business, but B, the media coverage given to Vybz Kartel throughout his career has been disproportionate to that given to other equally good artists. Do you think so or not?
Well, I'm not sure why the industry was not supportive, but I doubt that it has anything to do with media coverage, since usually dancehall has a superstar or two superstars, and those persons get far more coverage than the other artists who are a part of the framework at any one time. So I doubt that would have been it. the industry seems to not have been, interested in being involved or maybe being tainted by what could have, come off of this particular case, particularly since it seems less about a murder and more about the individual, the key individual involved, who is a major dancehall artist. So that's the impression I got from, what I saw on the ground, and less about alienation one or feelings about too much coverage.
What about the almost polarizing impact he has on the society in terms of the outcome of this trial? How much of that would, in terms of those who are happy to see him go away, how much of that would depend on a lyric like this? Boy, I beg fame life like kids I beg money at stoplight. Me put the Glock right in him face and bust it till him red light. Me be my backlight. No boy in a bad like me, them just act like.
Many people were not aware of some of these lyrics, because let me tell you, that even if you look at the response to some of those things that were printed today, some people is the first realizing what the lyrics are saying. A lot of the response to Cartel comes more out of the various transgressions that he has been putting through, into the society. If you look at people's comments, they are talking more about his bleaching, his leading young people astray, in some shape or form, the tattoos, the daggering, the disrespect of the society, the fact that, as one person said, him bad from him born and him to go to prison for life, So it's not the lyrics, and we have had lyrics that have come out of dancehall that are similar, if not exactly the same. And so many people are not even reading the lyrics because they will tell you very, very proudly, I don't listen to these songs. So it's less about that and more about the fact that dancehall and Vybz Kartel are seen as deviants. And so there is one side of the discussion that is very happy that morality and decency and civility has triumphed, that those are the terms that are being used. And the other side that is unhappy with what they see as a direct, poke at dancehall culture and not a focus on the justice system dealing with a murder trial and getting a verdict that is in favor of the prosecution.
All right, Donna, please stay on the line. We have to take a break on Live at 7. We're back in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Live at 7. On the spot with us in studio, we have Desmond Ninjaman Ballantyne, broadcast Fame at Fame FM. Colin Hines is also a disc jockey. I don't know if they still call him that anymore. And dancehall artist Patrick Gaynor, of course, one half of the duo Twins of Twins. Reminding you can join the discussion on Facebook and on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, use the hashtag Vybz Kartel. And Donna Hope is on phone with us as well. I was suggesting today I don't celebrate any kind of violence. I don't like violence. I don't condone murder, drug use, drug distribution, any kind of criminality at all. And yet, I didn't feel on top of the world today. I don't know half of these lyrics. I can't even say that I would want anybody to write these lyrics. I don't know most of his music. I don't know the dude. But something about our society seems to have failed again. Now, whether it's a guy who has the potential to reach the top, and so something to me about our society has failed again.
Yeah, it's a potential not fully achieving. And like I said earlier on, falling victim to its own dark side, because it seems he was blessed with so much talent, but there seems to be some sort of counterbalance.
All right.
And I think also, once again, this is a black eye on dancehall.
I suggested
dancehall has punched itself in the eye again.
I suggested it the other night, and one of Donna's colleagues Taylor said that, listen, you're making it, you're overblowing it because you probably, proportionately, you probably have a number of lawyers who are equally fragile, or a number of doctors who are equally doing something wrong. But with the greatest respect, you don't have so many of one profession at the top of that profession that are constantly falling foul of the law. Is dance hall having to now look at itself to say something's not right?
It should.
Either you or Patrick, yeah.
The problem we're not talking, you know. Dance hall don't have no problem, you know. It's the artists them have a problem, you know. Dance hall have never get a charge yet.
All right, the artists then.
You understand?
And you have had a charge, one pending. So you are one of the top guys. Cartel is one of the top guys. Bounty has had his running with the law. Tommy Lee, the performers now who are at this level. And I'm talking about right down the way.
And this is something when me look upon. That's why when me get me mix up in this charge with me have now, I say, boy, life wicked. Because this that is happening now, I see it from about 2005. So there's gonna be an example in the music industry, and it's gonna be one of us. And that's why I try to steer myself clear away from any form of crime and violence. And by accident, me end up with a charge again, with something we don't know about. But it's a case pending, so I'm not too matter about that.
Yeah.
And through me is a man of God, and me believe in my God. I mean, I say God will guide me through any storm. You understand? Me not to make that be no problem to me. But when you look back in our life and see this young youth here, even if me get in a position with cartel they know. Remember, you know, me travel America till them ban me and receive me back again. You know. Me travel Canada till them ban me and receive me back again. Me travel England till them ban me and receive me back again. Me go Europe, me go Switzerland, me go Ireland, me go Austria, me go many Caribbean countries. I've been through more than 5 passports, and even the court of justice last one more for me again. And all these passports and these traveling rides, I never play a pain fear. I live all type of all-inclusive life.
Right.
I've been through so many girls that me get to me up with 28 baby mother and 29 kids. So me get to know what stardom have to give. And for this young youth now have such a potential. And for say him lifestyle right there so. And when me I say that, me not go say it because me is not a politician. I'm not a one-sided person. We have to think on both sides. Because we have to think on say Lizard family them not go see him again.
Right.
Whether cartel guilty or him innocent, there's 2 persons now where in the country where have facing grief because the person where the deceased family grieve and cartel family grieve right now. And it's not the grievance for cartel is bigger than for Lizard because at the end of the day we don't know Lizard potential.
That's the imbalance in our society. That's not unusual.
Let me really say when me comments of this before that 1 hour out. See?
Yes.
Watch me I say Colin. You see that country, things no balance. That are the greatest word that we can find. Things no balance. You see the music, it come out of one culture where them no understand. From the higher echelons. It come out of a culture where them no understand. It evolved from that and we get a nice thing named dancehall. Alright, let me show you one thing now about that country and the unbalanced thing when me I talk about. It's like, me see them a try to attack the music, for say, okay, you know what happened? Them a wait for a moment, them a wait for something, for say, alright, this is it. I use it as a poster, for say, alright, this is what the music is all about. And these are the people. You say it rough, you say it bad, you say it evil, as if a doctor kill him wife. It make doctor in bad. It doesn't.
Let me do.
You get me?
The problem with music and dancehall, them not really fight reggae music, you know. Them fight dancehall music.
But reggae music don't produce lyrics like this.
Yeah, that's what I tell you, because reggae music, it kind of come from a different shade of family.
Reggae would be the gospel and dancehall.
You'd call dancehall people, the outcasts them then, the ghetto bugs them then. The youth them with them never expect so them youth are going to have no other chances or any way to make it in life.
Yeah, but a lot of those, youths are reggae artists.
Hold on. You must meet in this road. You live on the radio road and the TV road. Me dey on the dancehall road and the reggae road. I know the difference of reggae and dancehall. I know the difference action of reggae and dancehall. I know the way how reggae artists act and how dancehall artists act. Reggae artists is more like Beverly Hills people them. No care which part him come from, him have that little thing they will say. There's a decency
There's
and
acceptance,
there's
there's a road in.
There's a different liberty. We are from the side where them say, them man are bad man, them man are ghetto man, them man are gangster. The problem is that they will easily accept the reggae artist because him not involved in any form of violence. Most of them not be known as nobody who